up guys? I'm Tisha Klein Delamente and welcome to my vlog. So for this video, I will be your tour guide for today.
So, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
New York City is often called City of New York. It is the most populous city in United States, known as the Big Apple. New York City is arguably one of the most important cities on the planet, diverse and always buzzing. There is unlimited number of attractions to explore in the city. The New York flag holds significant symbol for its nation. The dark blue field is the state coat of arms. The goddess Liberty on the left side holds a pole with a liberty cap on top, stands for freedom. While on the right side, the goddess wears a blindfold and carries the scale of justice, meaning that everyone receives equal treatment under the law. The state motto Excelsior on a white ribbon expresses the idea of reaching upward the higher goals. On the shield, the shore and the mountain range and sunrise depicts the beauty of the Hudson River. And above the shield is an eagle resting on a globe representing the Western Hemisphere. The capital of New York is Albany and has a population of 18.8 million people as of 2020. The major religion of New York is Catholic, and the most commonly spoken language is English and followed by Spanish. The climate of New York is continental with cold winters and hot summers. Winter is from December to February, spring is from March to May, summer is June to August, and autumn is from September to November. Before we go to the different destinations, let me give you first a brief history about New York. Year 1524, explorer Giovanni de Verrazzano, commissioned by the King of the France, sailed to New York world. In the year 1624, the first Dutch settlement was established. For 40 years, the Dutch ruled over the colony of New Netherland. In 1664, the British Army conquered the New Netherland, which was then renamed as New York in honor of the Duke of York. In 1765, New York City hosted the first Colonial Congress, a conference called to discuss the King of England's Stamp Act. 1775 was the first American victory of the Revolutionary War. After serving as a colony of defeat Britain for more than a century, New York declared its independence in 1776. In 1777, the Americans defeated the British at the Battle of Saratoga, one of the decisive battles of the world. This victory marked the turning point of the Revolution, leading the American alliance with the French and eventual victory. In 1785 to 1790, New York City became the first capital of the U.S. It was the site of George Washington's inauguration as the first U.S. president. In 1797, Albany became the capital of New York State. In 1807, Robert Fulton's North River Steamboat traveled from New York to Albany. This first voyage of significant distance made by the steamboat began an era in transportation. In 1825, the Erie Canal opened, linking the Hudson River to the Great Lakes and leading to greater development in the western part of the state. In 1977, the I Love New York tourism campaign was created. The New York Department of Commerce made a strategic decision to market tourism as a means to improve the state's economy. So that is all about the information and history of New York. And now let's move on to the different destinations. And our first destination would be the most popular attraction in New York. Let's go! Statue of Liberty is one of the most iconic monuments in the world. It was originally a gift from France in 1880s. It is located in the port city of New York in Liberty Island, Manhattan. If you want an in-depth educational experience about the monument, visit and explore the museums and exhibits and learn about the history of the Liberty Island. The Statue of Liberty is widely regarded as one of the most recognizable symbols of the USA, represent friendship between nations and freedom from oppression. And if you want to be entertained, visit to the inimitable Times Square to see the commercial and cultural heart of New York City. Welcome to Times Square. Times Square is a major commercial intersection, tourist destination, and entertainment. Times Square is brightly lit by numerous billboards and advertisements. It is sometimes referred to as the crossroads of the world, the center of the world, or the heart of the world. It is a home to everything from street performances and protesters to family-friendly restaurants and attractions. For those married couples who are seeking for a romantic destination, our next destination would be perfect for you. Niagara Falls, known as the honeymoon capital of the world, it is absolutely a romantic destination. Niagara Falls is a popular spot for getting warm or soaked amid natural splendor. It attracts curious spectators and adventurous honeymooners from around the world. Niagara Falls is located on the border with Canada, bordered between New York and Ontario, Canada. Views of the falls can be enjoyed on either side of the international line, offering visitors on both sides beautiful vistas, boat rides, and more. And now we are here in one of the tallest buildings in the world, the Chrysler Building. It was the first super tall skyscraper built in the world. It was called Glimmering Pinnacle of Art Deco architecture, New York City's most eye-popping skyscraper. Triangle-shaped windows in each crown are lined with lights, creating a beautiful effect comes at nighttime. Chrysler Building is located in Lexington Avenue, New York. Standing in front of this iconic New York City building, you can gaze up an amazing view of the city and as you take in the Art Deco inspired. Last but not the least, for those who seek for paradise sightseeing and outdoor recreation, Thousand Island is a popular destination for those looking for authentic outdoor recreation. Thousand Island is a region of endless shorelines, rich history, and unique culture. It is located along the peaceful border between northern New York State and southern Ontario, Canada. Hundreds of miles of picturesque square coastline and sparkling lakes, rivers, waterfalls, and magnificent state park are perfect for hiking, camping, boating, and some of the world's best trophy fishing. And also discover charming waterfront villages or sail past historic homes, picturesque lighthouses, and majestic castles perched atop rocks in the river. Those are the top destinations of New York, and I know hindi makumpleto ang tour na to without experiencing the food. So I have here 3 native foods originated in New York. First is the Egg Benedict. It is an American breakfast consisting of 2 halves of an English muffin topped with a poached egg and hollandaise sauce made with egg yolks, butter, lemon juice, or vinegar. Second is the New York-style pizza. We all know that New York City is a home to hundreds of pizza restaurants. This New York-style pizza is traditionally topped with tomato sauce and mozzarella cheese, with any extra toppings placed on top of the cheese. For New Yorkers, there is nothing better or more convenient than a bacon, egg, and cheese. It is traditionally made with bacon, egg, and cheese, which may be buttered and toasted. So before we go to the cultural aspect, let me introduce to you the 3 famous influencers in New York. Meet Fivio Foreign, the rising New York rapper behind the hit Big Trip. He is a famous rapper from Brooklyn, New York, who got famous for his single big trip. He is also one of the big names in the making in the hip-hop industry. This is Bill Richard, known as the Black Terror. He was an international sports hero and was the first black boxer to gain international recognition. He was also inducted in the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1997. And we have here a famous fashion designer, Michael Kors. He is a world-renowned and award-winning designer. He helped shape American society by people wanting him to travel the world and design clothing. Many people have changed the way they dress because of his style and influence. He then started his own small business and then created Michael Kors, a billion-dollar fashion company known around the world. Let's proceed to the cultural aspect. We'll begin with festivals. National Puerto Rican Day Parade marches along celebrating the people and culture of the Island of Enchantment as one of the largest parades in New York City. It draws nearly 2 million spectators. It takes annually in the U.S. Manhattan borough of New York City. The parade is held on the second Sunday of June in honor of the 3 million inhabitants of Puerto Rico and all people of Puerto Rican birth of heritage residing on the U.S. mainland. Wave your rainbow flag in the name of diversity, tolerance, and inclusion at New York City Pride. The biggest Pride celebration in the world has found a home in New York City, which culminates an unforgettable parade filled with glitter, rainbow flags, and larger-than-life wreaths. Throughout July, the city plays host to a series of special events aimed at celebrating LGBTQ community history, activism, and arts, to truly appreciate the struggles and progress of the LGBTQ community. Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. The parade shaped during the Roaring Twenties, a time of prosperity and pleasure. The parade takes place on November, showcasing the world-famous cast of characters featured in fabulous floats and giant signature balloons. This is called knickerbockers, consisting of Norfolk jacket and form of trousers, particularly popular in 19th century. It refers to the style of pants of Dutch settlers in New York, the pants that rolled up just below the knee, which become known as knickerbockers. For the reminders, take note. While eating or if when you're in a business meetings, these are the things you should remember. First, do not talk about unpleasant things such as your bathroom experiences while eating. As soon as you're seated, you should place the napkin on your lap and remain it during the entire meal, and sit properly straight on the chair. Wait until everyone has their food before you start eating. Use your knife and fork to cut your meat and chew with your mouth closed. Well, if you are in a business meetings, stand when you greet people. It is impolite for them to see you stay seated while others are standing. And if you're asked to wear your business clothes, you have to be presentable and well dressed. Avoid using your gadgets and avoid talking or discuss religion, politics, and personal information if it's not related to the business matters. The 3 success in a row gives some people the chills. It's a superstition belief that harks back to the Bible. In the book of Revelation, 666 is a given number of the beast and is often interpreted as the mark of Satan and a sign of the end times. Careful with that mirror. According to folklore, breaking a mirror is a surefire way to doom yourself into 7 years of bad luck. The superstition seems to arise from the belief that mirrors don't just reflect your image, they hold bits of your soul. That belief led people in the old days of the Americans to cover mirrors the house when someone died and let their soul be trapped inside. And lastly, it is a weird tradition in New York that is supposed to take place. When buying a new car, or where if someone you know purchases a new or used car, you have to throw money in the back seat. Many believe that this tradition will bring you good luck in your travel. Salsa dance. Salsa is a Latin dance associated with the music genre of the same name which originated in 1960s in New York City. Salsa dance is a dance that is New York bred, strongly influenced by Cuban, Puerto Rican, and other Latin American dances. The New York salsa style is popularly known as mom style or on two, means that the dance starts on the beat number 2. Bulgarian folk dance performing ensemble in the USA, bringing the beauty of the rich treasure that is Bulgarian folklore to its American audiences. A New York-based culture. Dances are colorful, tapestry in variety and rhythms. The dances acknowledge the ethnoculture and heritage of Bulgarians. It is all about the Bulgarian character and characteristics such as temperament, strength, endurance, humor, and talents. Breakdancing is originated in New York City during late 1960s from martial arts move developed by street gangs, eventually evolved into the complex and athletic moves that characterize modern breakdancing. It is meant to convey the rough world of street gangs from which it is sprung. For trivia, I'll give you 5 interesting facts about New York. More than 800 languages are being spoken in New York, considering the fact that 34% of the population comes from another country. It's not illegal to go topless in New York. While you probably won't see many topless people in the Big Apple, it's pretty interesting to know that it's not illegal. In 2019, there was even Go Topless Day parade where people walk around topless in the city. Brooklyn Bridge is older than the Tower Bridge in London. The Brooklyn Bridge is one of the most iconic bridges in the world, and so is the Tower Bridge in London. But the New York City Bridge can flaunt with being 11 years older. The first capital of United States is New York City. In 1789, George Washington took his oath as president on the balcony of Federal Home from 1785 to 1790. There are more than 38,000 millionaires in the city. In addition to that, New York City is also home to the most billionaires in the world. However, Tokyo is the city that can claim the title of being home to most millionaires.